selection, isn't there, Tim?
There is, absolutely. I mean, you want to go out on your senior day, your senior meet, representing your team, your family, and your school. So a lot of pressure for these young cadets, but I think they're going to come through today.
Army finishing second in the tri-meet out west. Cal had a season-high 399.35. Army finished second at 390.15. William Mary had 384.20. Zach Perez won the high bar at 13.20 to deny Cal the individual winner in all 6 events. Jonathan Pink, we'll talk more about him in just a second. Second on vault at 14.6, Army's highest individual score all day. 4 gymnasts set personal best to help the team reach season highs on floor and vault. From what you've seen of floor and vault, Army's best events of the team this year.
No, yeah, I think so. I mean, there's definitely a lot of great skills on those events. Vault, you know, is one of those fast, dynamic events. But the floor, they've really started off, which is, you know, they're going to be the strongest on. But the key, I think, for both teams, especially, you know, as we get later in the competition here, is who's going to keep that energy going to the last, you know, back half of the skills. So those last few events, that's usually when, you know, the fatigue starts to set in. So.
Springfield last competed 2 weeks ago, traveling for a tri-meet with Simpson in Greenville. It was SC's first ever tri-meet against D3 programs. Greenville won the competition at 384.75. SC had 381.05, and Simpson finished with 357.55. SC is now 2-3. By contrast, Army's dual meet record this year is 2-6. SC had the top 2 all around, with Dominic Romalo scoring 77.4 and Sam Kaplan at 77.15. No reason to think those 2 guys won't be leading the pride today. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, each team's going to set up, you know, their best chance to win, and they, you know, they've got those top guys coming in, and they're feeling pretty good off a good win. But you know, it's anyone's game. I mean, it's going to be all 6 events, and anything can happen today.
Army has beaten Springfield already this season. January 29th at SC, Army won 381.55 to 377.65. It was Joseph Busselmeyer who won the parallel bars and high bar that day. He claimed the all-around title that day. But it's another day, it's another meet, and certainly Army playing for themselves and each other. We'll talk more about the seniors as we go along. But again, Jonathan Pink named the ECAC Specialist of the Week, posted the highest individual score last week at 14.6 on vault, the highest vault score in the ECAC last week. And Army as a team scored 70.6 in that event. Best mark all season. Maddox Pavillon earned the same honor last week. We just honored the seniors, but it's safe to say that these plebes for Army and the younger guys, the future's bright for this program.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really important for the freshmen, the plebes here at West Point. You know, they want to contribute, and they have some good role models in the upper class cadets. So I think they're, you know, they're really feeling coming into their own as we go further into the season. So it's really exciting to see them kind of develop on their own.
So this is floor exercise, the first of 6 events. If you're not familiar with men's gymnastics, we have a lot of similarities with the women's sport, but floor exercise is definitely one of those, as these young people will take the mat. And it's not one of those WWE mats where there is no give. There's a bit of a springboard, so there's a lot of comfort for these young men as they're able to wow us with what they can do artistically and physically. Is it safe to say that in this event people are going to find not just power but a lot of finesse as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, if you've been a fan of the sport of gymnastics for a while, each 4 years the code of points kind of dictates the trend on each event, and most recently we've been seeing just a lot of powerful skills. The finesse is still there, no doubt, but you know, we've come a long way since you know, the years of when I competed almost 20 years ago now, and then even before that, where it was a little bit more artistic. Now it's about power, you know, and how big a skills can you throw.
Well, let's see what is thrown onto the mat first. Corbin Barstow, one of the seniors just honored. Hometown is Manassas, Virginia, just outside of D.C. Majored in physics, has branched field artillery. He's heading to Germany. By the time this is all said and done, let's see what kind of energy we've got here in this building.
So he comes out with a punch double full. The judges are going to be really looking for the execution as well as the landings. So not just doing the skills well with good form, but it's a game of tenths. So every time a gymnast is going to take a step or move their feet, then they're going to have a little bit of a deduction. So it's really up for grabs. And Corbin, coming out with a lot of energy on the first few passes. And right there, sticking the landing, good control.
He's getting better as he's going on, is he?
Yeah, I mean, the skills, opening passes and usually your ending passes are going to be your hardest ones. So those passes were kind of transition passes.
Big finish.
You hear his teammates cheering him on at the end. Finishes up with a 2.5. And a small step, but a good start for the Black Knights.
You may have heard a bell at the end of that sequence. That is the signal that time is up. Corbin Barstow with a solid first routine of the day for Army on the floor exercise.
Next up on the floor for Springfield, Tim Templeton.
So Tim Templeton is next now for Springfield. They go back and forth through each event within each event. So Army's gone first here, followed by Springfield next. As the Pride just trying to end their regular season on a high note. Boy, that stare is full of concentration. Nothing's going to break it right now. He's just waiting for that cue to begin.
Yeah, it's always, you know what, but you're so focused, but after a while you have your own routine. So you have your timing between events. So sometimes when the judges are delayed, that kind of messes with the timing. Opens up with a half and half out. And a second pass, a triple full. Really not wasting any time between the passes. Nice landing there on his double full side pass.
Stays in bounds. Wow.
Nice press handstand. This is where the gymnasts, if you're watching, they need to be taking some deep breaths now, because that's pretty much the only time they'll have to really catch their breath between these very difficult passes they're throwing.
Big finish coming up.
And you hear the bell. And finishes with a nice 2.5, just a small step there. Both teams, first one's up, really setting up their teams nicely.
There's some happy Pride welcoming back Templeton. So each team has had one person go. We point out that with each event, you do the option to drop the lowest score. Busselmeyer is next, the sophomore from Phoenix for Army. Just remind, ladies and gentlemen, that the United States Military Academy has an athletic department whose top players develop leaders prepared to fight our nation's battles. As the world's preeminent leadership institution, the Academy focuses on producing people who trust, accountability, passion, and empathy. To learn more, visit GoArmyWestPoint.com. About Army West Point athletics, its cadet athletes, and its mission.
And we have Cadet JoJo Busselmeyer here, one of Army's all-around gymnasts. I mentioned last time we were on the broadcast, he's just very cool and calm. He doesn't get rattled too easily. He's a very consistent gymnast.
I think what you said about the form, I don't see any sweat on him at all. He is just very relaxed right now. And that was good.
Still early.
Doing all that muscle tone. 0% body fat or something like that on these young men.
Very, very minimal. 0, I think would be pushing it, but 6-7% I think would be more realistic.
Even with the landing not perfect, he still sticks the smile. He knows that he did a pretty good job until then. We pass along that Corbin Barstow, who led things off, scored 13-1 The scores will come in as we get them. We'll go to them to you. As Springfield will now, the Borough baseball turn bat in the bottom of the second inning of this first event against 6 events here at West Point. Tim Templeton, by the way, teammate of Andre Butler, scoring 13-3. Andre Butler is next for the Pride.
And this year, with the whole year starting off, it's no longer 6 up, 5 count. So it's going to be 5 up, 5 count. So you're not able to drop a low score. So every single routine counting to the overall total.
Okay, so you can't drop the lowest score. You put up your best 5 and hope for the best.
Yes, you do.
Oops. So that's automatic deduction there.
Yeah, stepping out of bounds going to occur, a deduction. But Butler coming out, and he is just on a mission. Nice Arabian double front. A 2.5, a little bit of a hop. Just when you thought he'd be done, he still has another pass left.
Well, you can't take points off for enthusiasm. He's enjoying himself, but that landing at the end is probably going to cost him a bit. We point out that Joseph Busselmeyer also scored 13-1 on floor for Army.
Yeah, anytime a gymnast falls or doesn't make a skill, it's an automatic 1-point deduction. So it's a pretty big hit. So although good skills, he kind of ran out of gas at the end there, it looked like.
So Gabe Almeida will come up for Army now, 3rd of 5 in this first event.
Very powerful gymnast in his own right. You'll see these flares, we call them, named after U.S. gymnast Thomas Flair, and he will be doing later on the next event, the pommel horse. His entire routine is pretty much made up of those flares. So very difficult work. Just a little shy on the handstand, but he was able to press it back up. Oh, laid out full tuck, full combination. And a nice high double back. So the judges are looking for all those little movements of the feet. Want to show complete stuck landings. Taking a moment to catch his breath. And a nice 2.5 finish. Legs came apart a little bit, so a little deduction on that last pass.
You can always tell when the final move is coming because that's when the most noise is made. But he's done here. As again, we point out that after 2 participants in each team, Army is up by 2/10 of the points. We'll wait for Almeida's score as Owen Carney for the Pride will come up here, 3rd of 5 for Springfield here.
Yeah, I anticipate both teams are going to be going back and forth. It's going to be a very close competition all day.
Carney can't wait to begin. Oh, he got a lot of height on that.
Opens up with a nice double back. And second pass, a front double full. And a very nice 2.5 punch front layout, very difficult.
Their opportunity to take a deep breath here. Oh, that was very
nice. 1.5 punch full. Again, a moment to catch his breath before the last pass. And a triple full to finish. A little separation with the legs, but he's on his feet.
We'll see how close Carney comes to catching Gabe Almeida for Army, whose score was 14 flat. That is so far the best between either team so far in this event. So 3 out of 5 for each team has completed their routines. Ben Guerreri coming up next for Army.
And a stuck full and back out. Was a little off going that double full, but he was able to save it.
Going nice and slow here, isn't he?
These are the moments where you got to try to catch your breath. The skills they do, very difficult, a lot of energy. You could tell he was really trying to stick that landing on that double back, just opened up a little early. Oop. Starting to tire out a little bit. Can't get your shoulders all the way around on those fulls. He's kind of regrouping mentally, taking a deep breath. Just needs to be on his feet. And a nice 2.5.
Had too many cases of happy feet there during that routine, I think.
Yeah, again, that's what we talk about with these teams. When they're very evenly matched, it's going to come down to all those little details.
After 3 competitors from each team, Army is in front in this event by 7/10 of a point, which amounts to basically one major deduction on somebody's routine, so not much separating them early. Felix Kreidemann from Germany hitting cleanup for Springfield in this opening event, the floor exercise. Kreidemann won the high bar in their last competition in that tri-meet a couple of weeks ago.
And his opening pass is a running punch double front, and he stuck the landing. A 2.5 front layout. Had a little difficulty with that warming up, but no problem here in the competition.
There's so much power when he launches himself.
And one of the taller gymnasts of today's competition.
Is height a hindrance or something that helps here?
You know, it's going to be a little bit more independent as far as like their ability to maneuver their body. I mean, typically gymnasts are a little bit shorter, but there's been plenty of tall gymnasts on both men and women's side, and it's all relative. I don't think it's an hindrance at all. I think it's just relative. You're used to moving your body. Kind of missed the punch there a little bit, but was able to save it.
Everybody's screaming behind him, which means it's supposed to be the big finish. Oh, that's going to be tough. He had a pretty good routine up until that point.
Yeah, and again, just on that triple full, very difficult pass to finish with. Takes a lot of energy. He just didn't quite have the power and the angle to get that all the way around.
Final competitor in this event for Army is Jacob Norman, one of the firsties out of the floor. We began today from Lancaster, Ohio. A graduate with a degree in chemistry, branched aviation. He is going to post at Fort Rucker, where it never snows and you're sweating 10 months of the year. No sweat there as he starts off well.
And that opening full and back out pass, very powerful. Nice high double back. Again, you can see he's trying to be so precise. He wants to stick those landings. Doing a nice job so far.
Oh my.
A layout. And it's usually sometimes not the hardest skills that are the most thrilling. It's kind of just more of the simpler things. Not a very difficult, but just something, you know, unique.
Wasn't straight, but he was able to auto-correct a little bit.
Showing that control. Nice 1.5, punch full. Great form. He was trying to squeeze with his toes, just too much power. Got a few seconds remaining before he needs to finish. And a nice 2.5. Really solid form though. Not a lot of form breaks, just a little, a movement with the feet.
So Army is done for this event. Dominic Romano will finish things up for the Pride. Romano for Springfield won the floor a couple of weeks ago during that tri-meet for Springfield. Shared the parallel bars title with Sam Caplet. The Pride hoping to finish this first event strong. They trailed Army by a full point before the last routine we saw by Nauman. A full point can feel like an eternity at times.
It can. It's actually, when you think of a full point, sometimes it sounds like a lot, sometimes it's really not in today's day and age. When I was competing, if you fell off an event, it was only 5/10, so it was half a point. Then they went up to, I believe, 8/10, and now we're at a full point. So
why were they so cool all of a sudden?
Yeah. I don't know.
This is hard enough as it is.
Exactly. So
I could not do this stuff.
No, it's very difficult, but again, these two teams very evenly matched right now, and just the smallest details are going to be the ones that separate it. So the point, you can come back from the point, but Springfield needs to really continue their composure so they don't get too far behind.
And right now we have what felt like a little bit of a delay here. Not sure if there's a scoring delay or if they're looking to see if there was something that popped up in the routine that was not there. As Romano, I think, just wants to get going. He's basically at the intersection waiting for the light to turn green. Wants to make a left on red. There's nobody around. There are no police in sight. But he still has to wait just a moment. And his teammates are trying to make some noise because it's time to wake up and see what Dominic has in store to close out the floor portion of this competition.
Excellent double layout as his opening pass. Comes back with a double front. And again, you can see all those little hops on the landing, although not major. That's just another little bit coming off the score.
Lovely control there.
Comes back with a Rudy. Still has to work a little bit on those landings. Like I said, great form. Really difficult passes. But every time those feet move, it's another door opening. And a nice finish. And that closes us out on the floor exercise. Both teams putting up their best efforts.
Gabe Almeida will likely have the floor portion on the individual side one for Army at 14 even. When we return in just a moment, we will have, when we return in just a moment, we'll give you the final scores from this first event. Here from the big place on campus on Post. It's the Luke Rose Sports Center. You're watching Army West Point Gymnastics on YouTube.
Today, I'm a captain on the Army West Point football team. Tomorrow, I strive to lead winning teams.
Today, I study to excel in the classroom. Tomorrow, I can reach for the stars.
Today, I am leading cadets during summer training. Tomorrow, I will be ready to lead soldiers on the battlefield.
Today, I lead with character as the brigade commander. Tomorrow, my possibilities are endless.
West Point, where leaders are made.
So I said, serve my country and give my life structure. Win-win. What about you?
Well, I just wanted a great rate on an auto loan from PenFed. I can save thousands over the life of the loan, So I just joined.
But you don't have to be in or have served in the military to get a great rate from PenFed, right?
Huh.
For a limited time, get a $200 bonus on an auto loan with PenFed. Apply today at PenFed.org/bonus.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Welcome back to the 109.96. Along with Tim Getz, I'm Nikolai Busko. Thanks for joining us. Senior Day meet here inside the MG Neal and Joan Creighton Gymnastics Arena. Army and Springfield will just concluded the floor exercise portion of today's team competition. Sam Kaplan has just gone for Springfield as part of the all-around competition. Yes, you can do that. They send the best 5 guys up for each team, as Tim pointed out, for the team competition. Everybody wants to be that all-around guy. Sam Kaplan certainly one of those guys for the Pride that can fit the bill. Army, as far as their team portion goes, looks like Gabe Almeida is going to be the top guy for floor at 14-1. For Springfield, the moment looks like Owen Carney is going to lead the way at 13-5 as they continue processing Dominic Romano's score. As right now on the board, we have Army 66.7 after this first event. Springfield 66.1. Does anything surprise you based on what you saw in that first event, the floor exercise, Tim?
No, not at all. Again, I think both teams coming out, really throwing out some good skills and really trying to work on those minor details. And I think both teams understand that, you know, they're evenly matched, like I said a few times here, but it's all those little details that are going to come into play.
Just a reminder, you can use Twitter to keep up with the latest news information about the Army West Point Gymnastics team. The handle is Army WP_GYM. Again, Army WP_GYM on Twitter. This is not the last competition for either team today. Here's what's left, and things get really heavy. The USAT Championships are next Friday and Saturday, and then the ECACs are at Navy on Saturday, April 1st, followed by the NCAAs Friday and Saturday, April 14th and 15th at Penn State. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and Army always opens the season against Penn State, usually at State College. And is it remarkable to you that every participant in men's gymnastics gets along because it is such a small community?
No, I mean, it is a very close-knit community, and unfortunately, men's gymnastics has been kind of dwindling here in the last decade or so, and I wish, you know, some programs that have done very well in the past, such as Iowa and Minnesota, you know, they've been cut, and it's unfortunate, and a lot of those schools have lost their programs and have went to club programs, but we do have, you know, 2 new Division III colleges that have added programs, which is really a good thing for the men's gymnastics sport. So we're down to maybe 13, 15 schools now.
So we're moving on to Pommel Horse. What can we expect from both teams here in the second event?
Pommel Horse is one of those events where, you know, the shoulder lean and the weight distribution has to be on point. If they're off even a little bit, that could be the difference between a hit routine or a missed routine.
Sounds like the triple option. If the pitch isn't right or the running back doesn't run the right route, it throws the whole thing off.
Absolutely, and you could be on in 1 second and then off the very next.
We haven't talked about him directly yet, but for those who have been paying attention, they already know this. This is the final meet at West Point for Doug Van Everen, who's retiring to leading the program for 33 years, has the second most wins in program history. We'll talk more about Doug as this meet continues, as it looks like we're about to get started down on the far side, as Army went first on the floor exercise. Springfield will go first here in the second event, the Pommel Horse. Jaden Lovestein will go first for the Pride. And as I look, I see he's got a starting value of 14. That's not small. So let's see what he has here. I look at the scores. Army is in front by 4/10 after the floor exercise, 66.7 to 66.3. 4/10 isn't a whole lot.
Yeah, I think there was a... So the pommel horse...
Looks like it's off to a good start.
Yeah, the pommel horse requires a lot of balance, dynamic balance. I mean, these guys only have a small, narrow window to operate in. And he comes back with his back traveling salado. Judge is looking for that to go up to handstand. So a good first routine out for Springfield.
So now the Pride has set the tone. Army will come up next. Almeida did a good job on the floor exercise. Let's see what he can do here on the pommel horse.
And you're going to see on his routine there, he is making sure that when he goes with a 15.3 start, probably one of the hardest routines that we're going to see in competition. You're going to see those Thomas flares. And it's something that you don't see often, at least for the entirety of the routine, which is very unique.
He's trying to be one with that horse right now. Get out your popcorn machine. Let's have some fun with this. He's dancing already.
There he goes. Those are those flares we're talking about. Very difficult to maintain that. Traveling down the horse. Travels forward and backward, covering all ends. Now he's going to go up to the handstand, and he was a little shy. He should have gone off on the other side with another half twist, so not the dismount he was intending, not a horrible mistake, but definitely going to bring his score down just a little bit.
I'm just amazed with the sheer speed that he showed with those flares just going back and forth, up and down the horse.
Well, that is one thing that really will separate this event from the others. You know, if you lose momentum on some of the other events, you can potentially continue with some other skills and save it. This event, if you lose momentum, it probably means you're coming off the horse.
So Springfield set up Carter Cacciardo for the first time today. Lovestein, by the way, for Springfield scored 13.5 on his routine. So he did a nice job to get things going. And Springfield trying to play catch up with Army a little bit. Cacciardo ready to go.
Yeah, it's hard. It looks like Cacciardo only competes maybe 2 of the 6 events. So he kind of sat all of that first event, maybe getting a little cold. So we'll see how well he performs here.
Hands look good.
So far, so good. Judge is looking for those legs to remain together, toes pointed. And not a problem for Cacciardo.
He's got a big smile on his face, so I think he knows he did well because those toes have to be pointed. It's safe to say that you really need strong calves and durable Achilles in order to do those routines properly.
Oh yeah, I mean, on this event, you know, it's a lot more upper body, a lot more wrists and forearms involved and shoulders, but definitely in the sport of gymnastics in general, you need to be well-rounded, and you know, you train a lot to make sure that your lower body and your upper body are ready to handle the impacts.
John Ware will start here for Army, second competitor in the pommel horse. First time we're seeing him today. His starting value is 14.3. Deep focus. Can't wait to begin. There he cracks a smile for the judges, who I think are just making sure everything's in order from the previous routine that Cacciardo ran.
Yeah, Pommel Horse was never one of my favorite events.
What was your favorite?
I enjoyed vault and rings.
You like to be high in the air.
I like to run fast and jump hard, you know, and just fly through the air a little bit. But and these guys on Pommel Horse right now, John doing a great job. Single pommel work, very difficult. Great extension in the hips, so you can see how he's pushing his belly up towards the sky, really emphasizing that extension. Great routine, just a small knee bend there as he was traveling down the horse, but a great event for him, setting up the Black Knights.
Well, it might not have been the highest starting value, but certainly, I would imagine, very few flaws technically.
Yeah, absolutely. Does not have too much form deductions. Very minor compared to some of the other gymnasts.
So Springfield will get ready to continue on here. Juan Gomez gets ready to go here. Top of the third inning of this event. Again, each team sends 5 guys up. They can't drop any scores. Springfield gets to go first here in the Pommel Horse. Juan Gomez gets ready to get started here. So for Springfield, Cacciardo is clocked in at 13 even. Almeida again 13.4 for Army. We're still awaiting John Ware's scores. Gomez gets to work in a big way.
And he's doing a lot of difficult skills on that one pommel. Just a little form deduction there in the legs. And now he's cranking that speed as he travels back and forth. Little struggle with the press handstand, but again, a very good routine for Juan Gomez for Springfield.
His legs are burning, but he's got a smile on his face. He knows that he's got his team moving again. Blaze Kennedy will be next for Army. Another plebe. Again, the future is bright for this program. A reminder, final home meet for Doug Van Everett as head coach after 33 years. But Army has the ECACs and NCAA's next. Kennedy gets ready to wow us on the Pommel Horse. His starting value will be 14.7. So he's got a lot of plans here.
He does, yep, one of the higher. Very good pommel worker.
And he's just getting those arms loose at the last second because they're about to get busy.
Yeah, your wrists, your forearms get very taxed after this event.
All those young men to his right, yelling. We'll see if he tunes them out or if he needs the energy. Looked like came to a brief stop there between the pommels.
Just a small pause. Judges obviously want to see continuous movement. Just slight form deductions. You can see how fast he's trying to travel down. A little pike in the hips, but a solid routine. He will be happy about that one.
And now he wants to do archery. So the enthusiasm contagious as Army finishes up with Kennedy here. We go now to the 4th competitor for Springfield. As we continue to monitor the scores for you, Ware scored 13.1 for Army on Pommel Horse as we continue to wait for the other scores to come in. And Sam Kaplan is now next for Springfield. Again, he had his routine on the floor not counted the team competition earlier today. He wants to be the all-rounded guy as he stares into the chalk and makes the wish and gets ready to go again.
taking his time, really focusing on what he has to do, going over his routine one last time before he mount.
Would appear that his start value is 13.5.
Really nice circles, good extension. You can see that his shoulders were a little bit off. He started to bend in the form. That's usually your first indication, and then all of a sudden, he kind of didn't get his legs up high enough, hit the horse.
So that'll be a serious deduction. I would imagine that might be one of those full-point deductions.
1 point off, yep. He's got 30 seconds to kind of regroup before he's able to mount. If he were to go over that, the routine would stop right where it is, and he'd be judged just on what he did. He's traveling back. Should be setting up for the dismount. Yeah, that's a shame because that would have been a very nice routine. He knows it too. He'd like to have that one back for sure.
Again, because it's just 5 for each team, there are no deductions. He can't drop the lower score as in years past. 15.4, the start value for Maddox Babylon here. He's got a lot planned here.
Maddox is a great pommel horse worker, one of his best events.
Next up, for your Army Black Knights, Maddox Babylon.
Babylon gets ready to go here, wants to make sure that the wrists are protected properly. Again, need support when you're going from pommel to pommel like that. While we have a moment, registration continues for the Army West Point Gymnastics High Performance Camp. It's open to young men in grades 6 through 12, as well as eligible transfers. Camp runs July 21st through 23rd. To sign up, visit armygymnastics.totalcamps.com. Again, armygymnastics.totalcamps.com. That's a big camp every year.
Yeah, they do a nice job over the summer bringing in these kids, trying to get them, either involved in the sport or introduce them to new skills if they've already been involved. Maddox is set to go here. A very difficult opening sequence. You can see he's not circling as fast as some of the other gymnasts, but super precise. And he needs to pick up that speed a little bit if he wants to stay on, as he did. You can tell he's a little bit off, but he's fighting. He does not want to come off that pommel horse. He's a little tired. See what he has for the dismount. And he fought through that. Not his best routine he's ever done, and I think Doug knows he kind of got away with one there, because he could have easily multiple times had fallen off that event, but he was determined to do it for the coach, for his team, for himself, and he stayed on with everything he had.
For a second, I thought he was going to melt like the Wicked Witch of the West because he was going so slow. Now, when the judges are looking for all the techniques, are they really emphasizing in the judges' minds the speed of the technique?
Not necessarily the speed, because everyone can perform the same skill, but more of the execution, right? So when we mention the circles and they're spinning around, how well they are straight with their body position. Are they piked? Are they extended? Is their belly to the to the sky? So that's what the judges are looking for. And in some of those skills, you don't want a lot of speed. Too much speed can work against you. For right here, this would be one skill where you do want a little bit of speed when you're just doing circles or you're traveling back and forth on the horse. But when you're doing the single pommel work, you kind of want to be a little bit more methodical with your movements.
So Dominic Romalo does a good job here. Springfield has done some catching up after Kaplan fell. He's able to erase some of the problem there. And that Pride team looks pumped up after an excellent routine by Dominic Romano.
Yeah, and sometimes, if you have a gymnast who is coming off the event and that kind of deflates that, that balloon that you were riding that high. So you want to make sure that if you're the next guy, you really try your best to not do too much, but you also want to pump back up your team and make sure you come away with a hit set.
So Carter Beck, he's the last guy here in pommel horse as far as the team competition goes. As I'm looking to see who has gone ahead for Army already, Blaze Kennedy right now has the highest score from either team at 13-6. Looks like Carter Beck's start value is going to be 13-9.
Again, we're looking for hit sets, so not the highest start value from their team, but when you have 5 up, 5 count, it's very important that everybody does their job, stays on, and gets a hit set.
From the perspective right now, with Army presumably in front by quite a bit because of Kaplan falling, right now, the hit percentage I think will be taken more of emphasis. Just keep hitting your routine, and if you have to not necessarily bail out of something big, maybe there's not as much risk necessarily here.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna go in and you're gonna do the routine you've been practicing. You know, if you mess up or do something like that, then you may have to, on the fly, you know, on the spot, make a correction and repeat a skill or leave a skill out if you know, if you're messing up. But I mean, these guys go into this competition with set skills. They know what their routines are. They practice them numerous times in the gym. So at this point, it should be automatic.
Well, Beck did not appear to make any major mistakes there, and so Army will have the lead certainly heading into the second third of this competition, as next will be the rings, which is generally one of Army's better events across the board this season. So the Black Knights have done well. It looks like Busselmeyer's going to get one kick of the can here for all-around perspective.
JoJo Busselmeyer.
And his start value is going to be 13-8.
Yeah, one of the only all-arounders for West Point today. Springfield has 2.
So Busselmeyer gets ready to go again. This is not counted the team score. Army has finished that. As we continue to wait the final score coming up for Carter Beck. In the meantime, JoJo Busselmeyer gets ready to go here. And it looks like he's just waiting to make sure that everything is set. Keep in mind, Army West Point athletes are not just cadet athletes, but they're also Warrior scholars. Army represents Warrior and West Point represents Scholar. To separate them would take away the purpose of the U.S. Military Academy. They come together as one to outsmart the enemy. And one of the courses all these young men and women take when they arrive here at the very start, military movement, which I would imagine gymnastics looks a lot like.
Absolutely, and I am one of the instructors and course director for that course, and it uses the foundation of gymnastics. Some of the skills in which you see here, obviously, way much more basic than what these guys are doing. But we use the same premise: the strength, the flexibility, the kinesthetic awareness, the body control, motor control. All those things come into play when you're dealing with navigating obstacles on a battlefield potentially.
Kinesthetic awareness, can you please explain that to true civilians?
So when it's basically your understanding of where you are in space related to something else, right? So if I'm on the bar or on the rings and I'm doing a dismount, my air awareness, where I am in relation to the ground or the rings and things like that. So the same would apply in the military sense of where am I in relation to this obstacle or this environment. So knowing your layout, having an understanding of where you are in time and space, essentially.
You're mastering your environment on the fly, which is a large part of what these young people go through over the course of 47 months.
Pretty much, absolutely.
So Busselmeyer gets ready to finish the pommel horse portion of the competition. Again, this is the all-around competition. The team competition in this event is over.
JoJo just trying to have a good hit set. He's got a little bit of some form deductions happening. Those knees are bent on each of the circles. So not one of JoJo's best events, but looking just to kind of put up a set as he did. So he'll be happy with that. Again, not the best form on some of those moves, but he stayed on the horse.
So here's the good news for Springfield. The Kaplan fall did not hurt them as much as I thought it would. Army does win the pommel horse as a team, 66-6 to 64-9. After 2 events, Army's in front by 2.1 points. They have 133.3 to 131.2. As far as the winning of the event, that's going to go to Blaze Kennedy. He checks in with 13.6. Up next is the rings. From America's Academy, you're watching Army West Point Gymnastics on YouTube.
Today, I'm a captain on the Army West Point football team. Tomorrow, I strive to lead winning teams.
Today, I study to excel in the classroom. Tomorrow, I can reach for the stars.
Today, I am leading cadets during summer training. Tomorrow, I will be ready to lead soldiers on the battlefield.
Today, I lead with character as the brigade commander. Tomorrow, my possibilities are endless.
West Point, where leaders are made.
So I said, serve my country and give my life structure. Win-win. What about you?
Well, I just wanted a great rate on an auto loan from PenFed. I can save thousands over the life of the loan, you know? So I just joined.
But you know, you don't have to be in or have served in the military to get a great rate from PenFed, right?
Huh.
For a limited time, get a $200 bonus on an auto loan with PenFed. Apply today at penfed.org/bonus.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Continues to accelerate for the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project, the most ambitious gift-funded construction project in the history of the U.S. Military Academy. For information or to make a gift, please visit MikeyStadium.com. As soon as the lacrosse teams are finished, construction on that side of the stadium near Lusk Reservoir will certainly kick in high gear. It's not going to look like what it does right now when the summer is over with, but it feels like the more things change, the more they stay the same. And I think that the young men and women who certainly play sports around here, when they're all going through their senior day festivities where they did so in the fall, or as they will later in the spring teams, they're going to reflect that a lot has happened here in their 4 years.
Absolutely. I mean, this is really nice to see. You know, nobody likes construction and being, you know, impeded a little bit as you're coming into work and having to navigate through. But, you know, the facilities are being upgraded. They're putting a lot of money and time into making this, you know, the best place they can, which is they're doing a lot around campus. We'll say that.
Caleb Churchill has seen everything. He's one of the men honored earlier today. Hometown is Longmont, Colorado. Majoring economics. Has branched infantry, will post at Fort Drum, where it snows 10 months of the year. It's the antithesis of where Jacob Nauman's heading to Fort Rucker, where you sweat while you sleep 10 months of the year. Churchill with a starting value of 14-1. Here we go. Nice and tight.
Starts with just a Kip L setting up for his swinging elements. Nice giant work, a little check there on that giant. Judge is looking for those elbows to be nice and straight. Now his Yamawaki series.
I'm crunching my own abs while watching this. This is remarkable what these men can do.
Now setting up his dismount. He almost had the stick. Had he stuck the landing, you'd see the judges raise the the green flag, indicating a 1/10 bonus added to the score for sticking their dismount.
Oh boy. So the cadets are feeling good after that routine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start. Not the hardest routine that we're going to see, but you definitely want to start off with one of your more solid solid guys on the event so that you can kind of set that tone.
Okay, so we have Dylan Colangelo coming up for Springfield now.
Leading off the skill rings for Springfield, Dylan Colangelo.
He is making his first appearance of the day. Again, we have 6 events here. This is the 3rd. And Springfield trailing by 2.1 points after 2 events.
And a nice opening sequence there with his Maltese. Back up rise, another Maltese. When you see those holds and the classic iron cross, judges are looking for that to be held for a solid 2 seconds. A little bit bend there on that giant. Another little bend of the elbows. Lowers down to another iron cross. Well executed. Kipel. Now setting up for his dismount. And a full and back out. That's a good start for Springfield. Not some really good strength moves in there. Not as many swing elements as you saw from our previous competitor. Each routine is going to look fairly similar with some minor differences.
His starting value there was 14-2, so he wasn't going to be a slouch up there, that's for sure. Okay. Gabe Almeida's next. His starting value is 14-3.
Next up on the rings for Army, Gabe Almeida.
By the way, Churchill's score was 12-2 for Army.
Gabe has been putting a lot of work just on his strength holds, trying to make sure that his positions are accurate. A nice iron cross in an L position. And he comes back with this tuck and pike Yamawaki series. Straddle press handstand again, no use of the straps. Finding that balance, dismount. And you can see he wanted that stuck landing.
Not much separating the stick from nut, is there?
Minor hops, minor little feet movements, but the judges, they know what to look for.
Matt Brown will be next for Springfield. By the way, Dylan Colangelo picked up 12.4 for the Pride out of the gate here in rings. Brown making his first appearance of the day for the Pride.
Springfield College, Matt Brown.
As his teammates continue to make a lot of noise here. Lots of energy in here. The beautiful thing about the facility like this with a short ceiling, you can hear everything. The energy is contagious.
Yeah, we're halfway, and this event takes a lot of upper body strength, really taxing. Nice backup rise. Planche in a straight body, a little slight elbow bend there. I was trying to look. And some balance checking going there. All that would be a little deduction. Fighting through the routine early. And his pike and tuck Yamawaki, you're going to see that a lot today on rings.
Not a bad landing, but not perfect.
Pulling back out again. We haven't seen anyone stick their landing yet on the rings.
But he's still got a smile on his face.
Yeah, he's talking with his coach now. He knows. He's going over some of the skills.
Patrick Armstrong is next for Army. Another one of those the seniors we honored earlier today. From Canastota, New York, home of the Boxing Hall of Fame. Majoring in life science, branched engineers. And he's going to post at Fort Knox, which is not as sweaty as Fort Rucker, but definitely no snow down there like you find at Fort Drum. Nice and straight.
Really focusing on those arms right there. Trying to get that full 2-second hold. And again, Armstrong's Yamawaki connections. Setting up here for the dismount. And a 1.5, and there's the stuck landing we've been waiting for. He knows it. Gets the green flag from the judges.
Well, his start value was 14.6, so he knew he was shooting for the moon. That had everything, and I could tell for the first pose that he was locked in, not just mentally, but physically.
Oh, these both sides have been working really hard, I'm sure, on their routines. But I've come into the gym a few nights here and there, and these guys, they've been working their ring stuff. They're really trying to clean up the rings, making sure that those elbows are locked out, those strength positions are held for the proper amount of time. You know, it's the little details when you get late in the season like this, and everyone's starting to get to their peak. It's those little details that are really going to separate the teams.
So Gabe Almeida scored a pass along for Army, was at 12-7. Springfield coming up here now as Matt Brown had scored 12-1. Here comes Sam Kaplan. Again, looking to claim the all-around title today. He's going to have his score count in the team competition, though, with this event.
And well-executed Yamawaki connections. Sam Kaplan has very nice lines. Nice straight body on the handstand. A little balance check there, a little deduction. And his 1.5 did not stick the landing, but a lot of power. Maybe looking to up that for the end of the year.
He definitely has all the fundamentals, just a matter of putting things together. And again, this is his first year. He's got plenty of time to round into form.
Yeah, it's nice to see freshmen not letting, some of these competitions get to them, as we get into the later into the season with the conference championships, the USAG championships, and the NCAAs. The more reps they get, the better they're going to feel.
Here comes JoJo Busselmeyer. Starting value is 14-3. By the way, Patrick Armstrong for Army clocked in at 13-6. So he's got the clubhouse lead right now in this event.
And your classic iron cross, shoulders completely level with the rings, holding it for the 2-second required. Back up rise straddle planche. And JoJo very clean on the events.
He's not moving. That's good.
Effortless right there, and that's what the judges are looking for. That's why they call it still rings. There shouldn't be a lot of movement after these skills.
It's like standing at attention, just breathe and blink.
Very minimal, yes. If he sticks this landing, you know that bench is going to erupt. There it is. He sticks the landing, gets the green flag, gets that 1/10 bonus.
I am in shock, one, because I could never do any of this, and number two, I know how hard these young men work when they're not here and when they're not in the classroom. I think there's some days where it feels like general PT or what they're learning for training is just easy compared to what they're doing here in some respects.
You know, sport athletes in all colleges, universities, I mean, they definitely have a different element than the traditional college student, if you will, that doesn't do a sport. I mean, athletics is a great part of your life. It keeps you in shape. You know, you're able to do a lot of things, but the time requirement, the focus for studying and getting all the same amount of work done at other schools and, you know, other requirements other kids have to do, and then add the traveling on top of that, the days in the gym. That's why sports is so great. You know, time management, it teaches you a lot of life lessons.
Dominic Romano is aboard here for Springfield, has not missed a rotation today. Sam Kaplan, his predecessor for SC, scored 12.8.
Good strength holds, a little shy there in the handstand initially, but so far a strong start. And his 1.5, very precise, little hop there on the landing, but that should still bring in a good score for SC.
I think his starting value was 14.7, so he was going after it. Looks like Carter Beck's going to finish things up for Army here. This is his second appearance of the day.
Army's final competitor on the rank in today's competition, Carter Beck.
I'm looking at what they gave the score for Busselmeyer, 11.9. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of scratching my head as well.
We'll see if they change that. Sometimes they do. But for now, Beck is ready to go. Start value is 14.1.
Yeah, I'm still kind of questioning that. I mean, it didn't have the hardest routine, let's say, but I think they missed something there. We'll see if the coaches put in like an inquiry to see and check that.
Here goes Beck.
Starts off again his Yamawaki series. That's one of the things with still rings that I don't like as much personally. You know,
it's kind of one of your better events.
You know, I love rings and the code of points. You know, the book, if you will, kind of dictates what the judges for that new Olympic cycle are looking for. But to me, I think, you know, the way they did the code for these 4 years, it kind of funneled everybody to just a few skills. It didn't allow them the creativity to kind of combine some other skills together. So you're seeing a lot of similar routines, more so I think than some of the other events. So it kind of hinders it a little bit in my personal opinion. You kind of see the same thing again and again. But, you know, still phenomenal to watch. Very difficult stuff they're doing, but not much creativity allowed, I'll say, on this one event.
They have changed. Busselmeyer scored a 12.9, by the way. They've given him they've given one extra point. Romano scored 12.9 last for Springfield, and final competitor for the Pride here in this third rotation will be David Handren. He is making his first appearance of the day.
Handren, one of their better ring guys. Nice and controlled Maltese to a bounce cross. Very difficult connection. Does his backup rise, iron cross. Excellent uprise swing handstand. He's working hard to save that giant right there.
Looks good there.
Pressing up to the handstand. Catching his breath for a second before the dismount. And a full and back out. Solid routine from Springfield. Little hop there on the landing, but that should be bringing in a pretty good score.
So Handren finishes things up for the team competition. They wait to see if we have something different, and we will not. In fact, they've just announced that there will be a brief intermission. Yes, there is halftime in gymnastics. So we've completed 3 out of 6 rotations. Looks like vault will be next, followed by parallel bars, and then high bar will finish things up. But we expect that once all the scores are tabulated, that Army will have the lead at the turn. We'll take a break, and we will come back with the second half of the Senior Day meet here at the Lou Gross Sports Center. You're watching Army West Point Gymnastics on YouTube.
Today, I'm a captain on the Army West Point football team. Tomorrow, I strive to lead winning teams.
Today, I study to excel in the classroom. Tomorrow, I can reach for the stars.
Today, I am leading cadets during summer training. Tomorrow, I will be ready to lead soldiers on the battlefield.
Today, I lead with character as the brigade commander. Tomorrow, my possibilities are endless.
West Point, where leaders are made.
So I said, serve my country and give my life structure. Win-win. What about you?
Well, I just wanted a great rate on an auto loan from PenFed. I can save thousands over the life of the loan, you know? So I just joined.
But you know, you don't have to be in or have served in the military to get a great rate from PenFed, right?
Huh.
For a limited time, get a $200 bonus on an auto loan with PenFed. Apply today at penfed.org/bonus.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Our offense has just been on fire. They got 41 shots off in the game, so a great testament to getting to the cage, getting shots off, and people putting away their shots. You know, we came out a little slow, and then we were on fire. So just glad for our team to get another win on Mikey. It always feels good to win, especially under the lights. But just proud of our team for, you know, playing, you know, together, but also we got to put up 60 minutes out there.
Our main goal this entire season has been togetherness and playing for each other and kind of staying away from the individual game, but really just moving the ball fast and getting it to the open girl. What an amazing year to make history for the first time, being ranked 13. But we're only climbing and just demanding more like excellence of each other and getting better every day. But it's been a great journey, and there's so much more to come.
Army is in front by 2.8 points at the break. We've had 3 rotations, 3 more to go as everybody getting ready for the second half of this meet. You said there wasn't a halftime when you competed.
No, there wasn't. We would compete all the events after warming up everything. So there'd be, you know, you'd try to gauge your warm-ups and kind of reverse plan, if you will. But there'd be a good chunk of time before you've been on a certain event for a long time if it was the last one that you were competing. So for high bar, let's say that's the last event, you try to warm that up towards the end of the warm-ups. But yeah, I kind of like the halftime now, you know. You get to warm up everything in the beginning, and then you get a little retouch, you know.
You see him there with the glasses and not much hair. He has not made it about himself today, obviously, because of the seniors graduating. But again, this is the final home meet for Doug Van Everen after 33 years at the helm. He has mentored 4 NCAA All-Americans, has developed 32 ECAC champions who won a combined 80 titles. And he's led Army to 3 ECAC titles, the first of which snapped a 44-year drought.
Yeah, Coach Doug Van Everen has done a lot for this sport, and the endowment he's created here for West Point to ensure their gymnastics program lives on long after he moves on and goes into retirement. But, you know, they're in good hands with their coaching staff right now. Carmen has been here for as long as I've been competing. So, you know, you're going on maybe 20 years or so. And they're in good hands, you know. The gymnasts want to do the best they can for themselves, obviously their teammates, their seniors, but you know they're all there's a little extra on it today. You can kind of feel it, you know. Everybody wants to get that good win and post some really good scores, so you know they can send Doug off with the last home meet on a positive note.
Tyler Beekman's about to enter the chat for SC. The Pride will go first in this event. Again, your top 5 guys are your top 5 guys. No spares. A change to the competition rules this season as Beekman is getting ready to go again. Army will have Barstow, Nauman, Pabellin, and it looks like Pine and Ware as well going, and looks like they'll have Tusu as well.
Yeah, they'll put 6 up on vault, so JoJo can get that all around. And a 1.5 from Beekman.
So he departs. You only get one chance here.
Yeah, ball goes pretty quick. You know, run hard, block off the horse, and land on your feet.
Barstow is ready. His second rotation of the day. He wants to make sure the runway is clear. They've told him yes. Looks like his starting value is 14-4. Definitely not the heaviest of the guys in this event for Army. There'll be others later with slightly higher values to start. But he just wants to get off to a good start as the judges continue scoring following what we just saw from Beekman. Now he gets the green light.
And his Yurchenko 1.5, almost a stuck landing. He wanted that one.
Looks like he had good rotation. The landing was just imperfect.
Just maybe hold that squat position a little bit more. Maybe a hair more rotation, but again, great form, great execution.
Will Wilson makes his first appearance of the day for the Pride. By the way, they've given his teammate Beekman 13.95. That will certainly give Springfield a boost as they are trailing Army at the turn here. He gets ready to go. In deep concentration as he gets ready to fly here.
And a little hop there on the landing. Got to bend those knees a little bit more, but a double full, very difficult skill. Good awareness in the air.
Looks like Jacob Nauman is next.
Jacob Nauman.
His start value is 14.8. He's got a lot planned. Boy, he's got an icy cold stare. He wants to begin real fast. It's if the vault is a mile away and he's ready to run it right now. Yes, he is exhaling. He's just that focused right now. Wants to finish strong.
And his double full right there on the line. You can tell these gymnasts are really trying to lock in those landings. Excellent execution in the air.
Barstow, by the way, got 14-1 for Army. Wilson, who just went for Springfield, scored 13-9. Andre Butler is next for Springfield. Butler scored 12-7 on floor to start the day. This is his second event. Just trying to stay calm here. This is not an easy event because there's a lot of speed and a lot of time that goes into it.
Yeah, going over his vault in his head, imagining how he's going to perform. And his Yurchenko double full. Again, got to bend those knees a little bit more, but a great vault, well executed. But a pretty good hop there on the landing. We'll see what the judges do with that.
As Army gets ready for the third member to go here, we tell you that like Barstow, Nauman also scored 14-1.
For the Black Knights, Maddox Pabellin.
Maddox Pabellin getting ready to go, scored 13-5 on Pommel Horse earlier. It looks like right now he's trying to direct traffic. He wants something to move or something to come closer, it looks like.
Yeah, he's trying to get the board to be perfectly lined up right in the center.
Looks like he's got the board where he wants it now. It's not a trampoline, it's something that is definitely designed for this event.
Just some fiberglass and springs. It's amazing what the gymnast can do off this. And he was really absorbing, trying to stick that landing. Was warming that up, had a little difficulty warming it up, but then he locked it in. He should be pleased with that ball.
They've given Butler for Springfield 14 flat on his attempt. As the Pride will continue on with Owen Carney here.
Representing the Springfield Pride.
Carney scored 13-5 on floor exercise earlier today. The choir's in tune.
Oh, and he almost stuck that landing.
That's the best landing we've seen.
That is indeed. The judges, though, they are looking. He did move his feet slightly, but a great vault from Springfield.
So I think it's the first time we've seen this young man today, Jonathan Pink.
Next up, for the Black Knights,
Again, he was the ECAC Specialist of the Week after his vault out west. What will he do for an encore here? Looks like his starting value is 14-8. Can he vault Army further into the lead? Pabella, by the way, scored 14-2.
And he does a great Yurchenko double full. Right on that line, little step there on the landing. He's come a long way since coming here to West Point. First few days in the gym, he's really worked hard, tightening his body position up. He's going to be a competitor in the years to come on more than just a few events. He's been training pretty hard.
Owen Carney had 14-4-5. He's got the clubhouse lead in vault for Springfield. Dominic Romano gets ready to finish the job for the Pride here in this event as far as the team competition goes. Romano's been a busy man today. This is his fourth rotation. Almost.
Really, again, all of these vaults, they are really getting dialed in. We have not seen a stuck landing yet.
John Ware is getting ready. By the way, Pink scored 13-9-5 for Army. Not an incredibly high score. As the Black Knights looking to go 4 for 4 in team wins and rotations today. Ware is good to go. Was 13-1 in the pommel horse earlier today. Starting at 14-4.
And a 1.5. Again, a little hop there on the landing. You see he's got that knee braced up a little bit, maybe just protecting it.
No, you don't get any extra points for that, but they're having some fun out there.
You know, that's really what it's all about. You know, winning is great, and they're all out there putting up their best effort, and they want to win, no doubt. But you know what? They got to have fun at the same time.
So Sam Kaplan's ready to go. Again, this is for the all-around. Springfield's book is closed for this event. As Owen Carney landed a 14-4-5. Romano was a 14-4, by the way. That was close.
He lands outside the lines. We'll see how much deduction the judges do for that. But a good vault, good execution. Only a full, though. We've seen 1.5s and double fulls.
And our final vaulter in today's competition, representing the United States Military Academy.
So it looks like JoJo's going to get the last kick of the can here. As I look at the meet score, Springfield is cutting to Army's lead. They'll win the vault 70.7 to 72.5. And they've cut Army's lead in the team competition down to 2.35 points, 2/3 of the way done here.
Yeah, and JoJo going up as the 6th person just to get that all-around score. And as you said, it will not count for the team score. And is Kazumatsu just a full off the table.
He's got a good enough grid to lead me to believe that he thinks he did okay. So, that is the end of the 4th rotation. Parallel bars and high bar is all that's next. The parallel bars will be our event when we come back. Springfield is cutting to Army's lead, but the Black Knights still in front by 2.35. You're watching Army West Point Gymnastics on YouTube.
Today, I'm a captain on the Army West Point football team. Tomorrow, I strive to lead winning teams.
Today, I study to excel in the classroom. Tomorrow, I can reach for the stars.
Today, I am leading cadets during summer training. Tomorrow, I will be ready to lead soldiers on the battlefield.
Today, I lead with character as the brigade commander. Tomorrow, my possibilities are endless.
West Point, where leaders are made.
End here. 2 more rotations left. Parallel bars are a big deal. And then the high bar is at the very end. Army still in front after Springfield has cut into the lead. Again, it is senior day. 6 young men becoming 2nd lieutenants when they graduate in May. And Doug Van Everen, the final home meet for him as head coach. Mike Buddy's thoughts on Doug Van Everen. The impact that Doug has had on decades of cadets is immeasurable. He truly built this gymnastics program from the ground up and helped develop hundreds of leaders of character. His humor, passion, and presence will be missed. We're excited for Doug and Terry as they write their next chapter. High praise from a guy that has done some big things here since taking over as AD, but I think Doug truly has seen it all.
Yeah, you know, 33 years coaching at this level. I mean, the impact is felt all around the gymnastics community. He's going to be missed, no doubt, but he should be enjoying a little bit of retirement now, taking a breathe.
And it's not just what he's accomplished at West Point. He was the president of the CGA in coaching the U.S. national team in 95 and 96. He has served as chairman of the NCAA Gymnastics Rules Committee. He's been on the board of directors of USA Gymnastics, and he developed the College Gymnastics Foundation in 1996. I'm not sure that the men's side of the sport is what we know it today without that.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, we're such a small, tight-knit community, but, you know, the impact that these coaches from each of the teams trying to develop the sport, make it better, it's felt. It's felt for generations, no doubt.
You have to wonder if next year they'll still open against Penn State once he leaves. That was his bread and butter. But it's remarkable to me how these young men are still able to compete at a high level. And again, this is not the final meet for Doug as head coach. There are a couple more coming up. The ECACs are not that far behind. Those are April 1st at Navy, and the NCAAs are Friday and Saturday, April 14th and 15th at Penn State, as the Black Knights and the Pride, for that matter, just trying to round out a form and see what they can do in the next couple of weeks. Parallel bars coming up. Army expected to compete. Kennedy, Popal, Armstrong, Busselmeyer. And it looks like we've got one more. It'll be pink again. Beekman, Cacciardo, Carney, Kaplan, and Romano due up for Springfield.
Blaze Kennedy.
Blaze Kennedy will start things off here. This is only his 2nd appearance of the day. He scored 13-6 on Pommel Horse. So we're looking for here, Tim.
So again, just like I said in the very beginning, the back to events is going to be really critical. Both teams more than capable of hitting routines, but now the fatigue factor is going to be setting in. So a little bit more tired. Blaze Kennedy has been sitting around a little bit, maybe competed that other event, but it's hard, although they just came off of that little 6-minute touch warm-up, it's the back half. It's a long day. You're tired. So teams just looking to put up some good scores and stay on the event. Don't have any major problems.
Get Army in front by 2.35 points as we enter the 5th of 6 rotations.
And his opening skill, again, he was warming that up and had a little bit of a difficulty. Much better here in competition. Now his giant work you see on some of the other events. Pirouette Moy to support, swing up to the handstand. Now here's where they're going to be taking a breath, trying to set up for his dismount. And a step there on his double pike, but he's pleased. Coaches are happy, teammates are happy. Good start on parallel bars for the Black Knights.
Remember that competing as varsity athletes helps cadets learn how to win on the battlefield. Athletics instills tenacity, resilience, discipline, mental and physical toughness, and the desire to excel. Grit and perseverance are the same things that build many platoon leaders and company commanders when cadets graduate. A half dozen of these men will graduate, as well as their team managers. They were also honored before this meet began. Just a couple of months, they'll become second lieutenants in the U.S. Army. A lot going on for these young men right now. Tyler Beekman is getting ready to fly in the air for Springfield. Beekman, earlier today, was able to score 13.95 in the vault.
That quick mental prep right before he mounts. His peach basket to handstand. You can hear his teammates in the background really cheering him on. Now his peach to support. Gonna be setting up for his dismount. And a front uprise, front full. It looked like for a moment he had stuck in that landing and then kind of took a little hop.
I don't know what that was. I don't think we've seen that today. It's like he had it and all of a sudden he didn't.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was locked in and then he had a little hop there.
So see how much they take off for that, but Beekman had a pretty good routine otherwise. Blaze Kennedy, by the way, for Army, scoring 13.45 on his routine. As again, the Pride trying to cut into Army's lead. Army was up by 2.35 points at the start of the rotation.
Next up for Army, Jackson Popple.
So for the first time today, we get to see Jackson Popple, who is going to start at 14.6. So he's got plans.
And we'll see, he was training a new move. We'll see if he puts it in the routine.
Nice and straight.
And there it is.
Sounds like he hit it.
Does his Healy down. Stiamadov, a little shy there on the handstand. Stutz, coaches are pleased so far. Little front of rise swing handstand now for the dismount. Nice high double pike. Coaches are happy. Jackson Pofol very excited.
Now you mentioned he had a new move. What was the new move that he put in there?
So he swung up. He swung up from both rails to the single rail, and then paused for a moment, and then came back on the opposite side and kind of did a Healy down. I wouldn't say it was new, but he's definitely been working on that. Not as consistent on that as he would have liked, but today, warming up in practice, looked very good. So, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those skills where it's a little questionable, we'll say. Maybe not new is the word, but questionable. Could be hit or miss, but he definitely hit it today.
Carter Cacciardo scored 13 flat on Pommel Horse earlier today as he tries to keep the Pride in it.
He does his Healy down. Judge look for that body position to be nice and straight. A little pike.
Ooh.
And a little shy on that Stutz handstand.
Looks better there.
Now it's dismount. Double front. A little slow in the rotation, but great height. Was able to get that around. He'd like to have that Stutz handstand back.
So Pompel scored 13-4 for Army to supplement Kennedy's 13-4-5. For Springfield, we'll wait the score on Cacciardo. Beekman scoring 13-1 to start things off for the Pride. Jojo Busselmeyer looks like he was getting ready to go, but he'll step away instead.
Next up for Army.
Yeah, just helping out his teammates set the bars to their, each gymnast has their own grip that they like, their own, personal width that they swing.
Patrick Armstrong earlier today scored 13-6 on the rings. His starting value here is 14-8. His salsa is the hottest among the group.
And a nice mount. He improved that mount from the beginning of the year. Nice peach basket to handstand. Not wasting any time going from skill to skill. A little shy on that Stutz handstand though. Already up for the dismount, double pike. And a little hop there. Toes could be a little bit pointed, and again, nitpicking, but that's what it's going to come down to this late in the season.
Did he rush the handstand a bit?
I think on the Stutz he did, yes. He was a little bit quick on the Stutz, maybe a little shy. But again, we'll see what the judges do. I don't think anything major there. I mean, very good routine. But judges want to see that you're actually finishing the skills.
Next up on the T-bars.
Carter Cacciardo scored 12.8 for Springfield, preceding Owen Carney. Carney, this is his third event of the day, was 13-5 on floor and 14-4-5 on vault, which he is the winner of. Can he come up big for the Pride right now, who are starting to run out of opportunities to catch Army unless the Black Knights make a massive blunder along the way?
And Carney, just a freshman. Watched him warm up on high bar. Very good high bar worker.
Did he lose his balance with his arms there?
Yeah, he was going for a Diamondov with an extra half there, and it looked like he just kind of missed the handstand and came off the wrong side.
We realize this is not an easy thing. We are grateful for the coaches who have trained these young men to do this not only efficiently but also safely.
We'll see if he repeats, and he doesn't. He kind of skipped it. Nice Stutz handstand. Carney being just a freshman, a lot of good skills packed into that routine, just needs to be a little more consistent on that. And again, anything can happen at any time. So that may be more of a fluke thing than anything, but.
Unfortunate for the Pride, with him not starting off well, the window of them catching Army does close quite a bit here.
Yeah, and again, that's why these last two events are critical. You want to keep that energy up. You're tiring out. Your teammates need that pump up. You can just feel it in the gym. It's not as loud as it was on the floor. So
On the P-bar for the Black Knights.
It definitely plays into you from the mental and the physical. So that's why you see both teams on both sides of the bench there really trying to yell and pump up their fellow teammates.
JoJo Busselmeyer scored 13-1 on floor, 12.9 in the still rings. As Army looking to put some distance between themselves and the Pride right now.
And a little bit of a bent arm on that as he was coming up through the handstand. Not his best mount he's done. But again, JoJo just very calm, collected, consistent. Ooh, great Stutz handstand. See those arms are nice and straight when he's in those positions. Very small hop. Always got a smile on his face. One of the backbone performers for the Black Knights.
Well, he currently kept his backbone straight there. Solid routine, even with the hop on the landing. As Springfield will send up. So I'm looking to see who is there next. Looks like it's going to be Kaplan next. Yes, it is.
Next up on the P-bars for the Pride, Sam Kaplan.
He needs to get something done here for the Pride, not just for himself, but for the team, as again, the window's starting to shut for Springfield to make a comeback. Carney only scored 11.65 in his routine, as the Pride are slowly running out of opportunities to make ground on Army. They were able to win the vault as a team, Springfield, but Army has won the first three events in this competition. Kaplan, he's had a busy day. On the team score, he had 12.5 on pommel horse and then 12.8 on the rings.
And he starts with his peach to the handstand. Little bounce check there on his giant swing. And a nice, well-executed to pelt. Great Diamidov, lowering down, under control. Nice press handstand. And Moy swing, little balance check there. This uprise dismount. Double front, almost a stuck landing. Sam Kaplan with a great routine for Springfield.
He's trying to get his boys up and amped. That might have done it. We'll see what they score, and we'll see what Army does the rest of this event, as that might start the comeback trail for the Pride. Busselmeyer, by the way, scored 13.6 for Army in his routine. Jonathan Pink is next.
For Army, Jonathan Pink.
Pink scored 13.95 on the vault. Is it his time to shine?
Nice Moy into the center. One thing he's been working on is really trying to control his midsection. He tends to arch a lot. Coach has been working with him on that. He's got a lot of good skills, just got to refine them. And as the season progressed, coming into today, he's done a really nice job. And a sky-high double pike. You know what I like is that you can tell that he comes in, does his thing, and he's out. You know, he doesn't get too hung up on all the little extra stuff. You know, he's not in the chalk bin a lot. He's like, all right, get me up there and get me out of there.
So if the trade is ever late, he's not going to be happy.
Yeah, he's put in a lot of hard work. He should be proud. Teammates are definitely proud of him.
So Dominic Romano,
closing out.
No rest for the weary. This is his 5th rotation of the day. 13-8 in floor, 12-4 in pommel, 12-9 in rings, 14-4 in vault. Needs to come up big for the Pride here as they continue to chase Army. Again, they trail by 2.35 points at the start of the rotation. The scores will soon repopulate as we get a better clue as to what the Pride need to do on high bar to close out the meet. But Romano is focused, realizes what he needs to do here. Nice and straight.
Does a nice Diamondov right on the end. Going for his to pelt. Great connection up to the handstand.
Whoop.
Just a little balance check, nothing major there, just trying to set his hands. And a great routine by Dominic Romano from Springfield. Again, a little hot, but great execution of the skills. Does not give a lot of deductions away as far as form.
Army will have the lead heading into the final rotation, which is high bar, as the Black Knights are looking to close out Cedar Day with a victory. The 6th and final rotation is up next. You're watching Army West Point Gymnastics on YouTube.
So I said, serve my country and give my life structure. Win-win. What about you?
Well, I just wanted a great rate on an auto loan from PenFed. I can save thousands over the life of the loan, you know? So I just joined.
But you know, you don't have to be in or have served in the military to get a great rate from PenFed, right? Huh.
For a limited time, get a $200 bonus on an auto loan with PenFed. Apply today at penfed.org/bonus.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Today, I'm a captain on the Army West Point football team. Tomorrow, I strive to lead winning teams.
Today, I study to excel in the classroom. Tomorrow, I can reach for the stars.
Today, I am leading cadets during summer training. Tomorrow, I will be ready to lead soldiers on the battlefield.
Today, I lead with character as the brigade commander. Tomorrow, my possibilities are endless.
West Point, where leaders are made.
Well, the good news for the Pride is that Dominic Romano won the parallel bars at 13-7. Bad news is it's going to take something unforeseen for Army not to win. The wheels have to come off the tank as the Black Knights into the final rotation have a lead of 5.15 points. So basically, if you're Army, no major mistakes heading to this final event. If you're Springfield, you probably have to hit close to 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a big, that's kind of a big hole to come back from. At this point, I think, you know, the gymnasts understand, and they're not going to do anything different. They're just going to go out there and try to hit their routines as best as they can hit them.
Jane Lobstein hit 13.5 on Pommel Horse earlier today. Carney, Kreideman, Kaplan, and Romano to follow for Springfield. Army due up. Has Perez, Pace, Busselmeyer, Nauman, and Pinks to finish. You can check out the official online store of Army West Point. You can browse the complete selection of officially licensed apparel merchandise by visiting shop.gourmetsports.com. Again, shop.gourmetsports.com. Lovestein gets ready to go.
And every time they make a release move, let go of the bar, like we're going to see right here, that's another opportunity. You know, the door opens. They got to catch it again.
Good speed.
Now into his German Giants, which just crush your shoulders. For the dismount. Half in, half out.
Oh!
I don't think they're going to give him that stick. He did move the feet a little bit.
Still a better landing than most what we've seen from either team today. Either way, he's finished strong.
Very nice. First routine out the gate for Springfield. Just trying to keep that energy up.
Zachary Perez with his first appearance of the day for Army. Start value is 14-8.
On the P-bar for Army. Correction, on the high bar for Army. Zachary Perez.
A really good high bar worker.
That chest cavity can't expand far enough for him as he begins here.
That final deep breath before you get going. And his combination to a Ginger, little low there, but he pulled it around. Nice hop full over the bar.
Was that expected reverse grip?
Yep, going into the Ribalco. It's like a 1.5 over the bar into his required L grip. Nice stall to the handstand. See if he can put the dismount down, stick it. And he knows that he was lacking a little bit of the rotation, had to pike that down, but he stayed on his feet.
Again, no major mistakes. Without a major mistake, Springfield cannot catch Army here. Owen Carney is next. Was 13.5 on the floor. Was 14.45 on the vault. Won that event. And then had a problem with the parallel bars. Was down 11.65 there.
And he's been having a little bit of some shoulder issues. So maybe that came into play a little bit on parallel bars on that move. But I know before, when they were warming up before the meet, he was playing with if he was going to do a combination, a release combination or not. So it'll be interesting to see if he feels good. I think he's going to be doing it on the fly. So we'll see if he puts it in last minute or not.
I'm just amazed how the neurons work so quickly the rest of the body. Basically, when you're 10 feet, if not higher, in the air, and the only thing separating you from the hard floor is a mat that you hope is soft enough to make sure you don't break anything.
Yeah, you know, and part of the sport is learning how to fall. I mean, you fall a lot when you're learning the skills. So you kind of get used to it. You kind of know how to manipulate your body to hopefully land in the best way possible. But, you know, things happen. So we'll see here. He's got his release moves coming up. We'll see if he makes the combination. Starts off with a layout to Kachev. Following it up, I believe, with a straddle to Tkachev and a pike, and he did not do the combination. He chose to leave it out.
Oh my, he stuck that one.
So a great high bar worker puts in that, or takes out rather, the combination. So that will hinder his overall start value just a little bit.
He's done a lot today. I think that's a good way for his day to end. By the way, Lofstein's score was 12.65. For Army, Perez was 12.95. So Army inching closer to victory. Springfield needs to hope that Army has a couple of major mistakes. Noah Pace will make his first appearance of the day.
Noah Pace.
And a decent high bar worker in his own right. But again, it's hard. Even with that quote-unquote intermission, it's hard. Kind of be sitting around most of the meet. You get 6 minutes to touch the event before you got to go compete it again.
It's like the heavyweight wrestler who has to wait all day for his match.
Yep.
What do you do for 90 minutes if you sit?
Exactly. So that's kind of, you know, one of the downsides of not competing more events. But they're so trained on that, and that one was a little bit far. Caught that right on his fingertips. And you have to be aggressive on this event. A little bit of a flying giant, if you will. And now the dismount. Half in, half out. Little short of rotation, had to take a hop step there. But after sitting around for how long and only getting a few chances to warm up in that intermission, great routine from Noah Pace.
So Pace is done. Springfield looking for a lifeline as far as the overall meet goes. Felix Kretterman will come up now and see what he can do. His second appearance of the day. He has not been seen since floor exercise, which feels like a while ago now. He scored 13 flat. And he looked very good during that routine, too.
Next up on the high bar. For the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 2 hours since he last competed, when you think about it.
Carney, by the way, scored 12-4 on high bar for Springfield. Cleary score for Noah Pace is 12-7.
Again, that kind of interested about that score from Carney. I'm not 100% where they were seeing all the deductions. I mean, it was a very clean set. But that's why I'm behind the mic and not at the judges' table.
Good hand position here.
Gonna do his release move, a straddle to Tkachev. No problem catching the bar. Does a straddle staller. Now the dismount, really cranking those giants. Half in, half out. He's excited. You can just tell they are trying to stick every landing possible.
Nobody on that team has been short of enthusiasm or grace today. And Kretterman will bring the energy back to the bench as they try to see this one out. So Army's turn is next. It'll be Busselmeyer stepping to the plate here. Pace is stuck at 12-7. As the JoJo chant continues for Busselmeyer, who has had an interesting day. 13-1 on floor, 12-9 on rings, 13-6 on parallel bars. And he's good to go here.
And a nice high Yamawaki to start over the top of the bar.
Looks like a dolphin coming out of the ocean.
And really cranking those giants for his Kovacs. No problem catching the bar.
Only a 14-2 starting point. Is he adding stuff? Or just that much power here?
No, he's doing the routine as scheduled. Sticks the landing. Ah, it was
one banana peel at the end, but it's still a solid routine.
Again, I don't see much to take off from that routine. Some of the skills, the judges are looking for them to finish within a 30-degree handstand position. So if he's under that, there'll be some deductions there. But, I mean, not much. He did not give a lot of deductions away as far as form and execution.
So Springfield will continue on here, just play out the string. Army has just been a little bit better today so far. Sam Kaplan, who has been busy. And you notice there, this is just his first year. He's got 3 more to go. If he finds something at SC that has a grad degree, which SC is a school that does have a decent academic reputation, he's going to find something if he likes it. He can have 4 more years after this if he wants. He's going to continue on here. His day has been busy. Notably, pommel horse, 12.5. Still rings, 12.8. Parallel bars, 13.15. Can he finish strong on that crescendo? Looks like his start is 14.2.
And not wasting any time, getting right into inside Stalder. Very difficult. He's setting up, looks to be a Kovacs. Sky high. Came a little too close, a little chin music there. I think I stole that from WWE somebody.
I don't know.
Booker T, maybe.
I don't know. Yes, he needed a shave after that one.
Really cranking. And a triple back, almost stuck landing. Sam Kaplan, big future ahead of him if he stays the course.
Wow. He's had a solid day. So Busselmeyer for Army in at 13.05. Kreiderman, by the way, scored 13 even for Springfield as we're rounding third and heading home here. Jacob Nauman, whose father I bumped into at the McDonald's in Highland Falls on the way in. I think in some respect, he might be able to relieve that this is done. But I asked him, you know, gymnastics is such a demanding sport. Do you think that Jacob will still try to stay in shape? I said, will he be counting calories when he's 80 years old when he's done with this? Because I don't think that the athlete ever dies within you if you are in a sport where physical fitness is such a big part of it.
Yeah, not only just the sport, but the profession they're going into. I mean, they need to be, you know, they need to eat a lot just in the sense of what they're doing to have the calories to go out on some of the patrols and some of the other things they're asked to do in the profession. But yeah, I mean, this is a profession of physicality, and he's going to carry that with him when he goes out of the West Point area and on to, you know, bigger things for the Army.
He'll need a steady hand. The question is it a Chinook or a Mohawk or a Lakota? What will be getting next? And he looks like he nailed that one. He's looking for a big finish here. Inside and outside.
And you can hear the teammates in the background. Let's see if he can stick this landing. Oh, little hot, but he is pumped up. They are excited.
So's Doug Van Everen.
What a way to go out. Your senior year, that's what everyone hopes, you know, but it can work against you. You know, you want to do so well on your senior day. You want to be so precise that sometimes you tighten up and you're not loose and you don't just go out and perform like you normally do. So really excited for both these gymnasts, or all of the seniors with both sides, being able to go out there and have a, you know, one of the better meets.
Dominic Romano, like Elvis, he's been everywhere today. 13.8 on the floor, 12.4 on pommel, 12.9 in rings, 14.4 in vault, 13.7 parallel bars. He's looking to finish strong here for the Pride. The last dance begins.
Again, similar start, the Yamawaki over the bar. Now Weiler kip to the handstand, well executed, finished directly in the handstand. Looking for over the top dismount, a double front, little hop. I like that he is throwing in some different skills than what you normally see. He's adding that level of uniqueness, and that really stands out to the judges.
He gets a mighty welcome home as that, again, for Springfield. This is the final regular season meet for them. I don't know this or not, but if there's a fifth-year program at SC that is interested in, he might take it, but if not, this is it for him. And here comes the final performer for Army today, Jonathan Pinks. He's just a plebe. Is the torch being passed to him, and we don't know it yet. He's done a lot this year. He thinks he's Trevor Hoffman in San Diego coming in to finish the job. The music blaring in the background. Starting value is 14-4.
And a good worker on the high bar. Not a real refined yet, so we still got some improvement to do on this event. But from a skills perspective, he's got the skills necessary. Execution could use a little bit of work. Rabalko over the top. And we'll see if he can put this dismount down. A little loose there with the legs, but you can tell his teammates are pumped up for him.
It's like he just threw a perfect game. They are happy to see him as the Black Knights will complete the mission on Senior Day in Doug Van Everen's final regular season home meets.
Now he's got to be proud of the job every one of those gymnasts did.
And we will see if there's anything else that's going to happen, if anybody else wants to take another trip for the all-around, but I don't see anybody emerging right now. As we'll stay here as they tabulate the scores, the expectation that Army is going to win by maybe a handful of points. We've also been advised that there might be something special once they count up all the points for Doug Van Everen. Again, this is his final home meet after 33 years at the helm. And of course, you can imagine, like every other coach that comes through here, didn't want to make this too much about himself today, about the 6 young men and their managers being honored before the meet today. As they're looking up the scores right now, you see that Springfield might be up by 6.5 points at the moment. That's before the final routine. So Army, as we did not see Pinks make anything stupid or dumb happen during the performance, so he will be able to get enough points as the Black Knights are going to celebrate once that tote board pops up, and it does. Army will win the meet by 5.05 points, which those new to the sport will say, well, it wasn't by very much, but on some respects, it's been a lot, as Springfield had a couple more glaring errors today than Army did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both teams came out firing on all cylinders, and then again, when we started getting to the back half, you can start seeing some of the fatigue. And that usually happens, but at this time in the season, you want to see from top to bottom, 100%. These guys went after it, no doubt. Just fell a little short today for Springfield.
So Army wins these events. They win on floor exercise. They win on pommel horse. They also win on rings. Springfield was able to edge Army in the vault. Army was able to take parallel bars by nearly 3 whole points. That was really the big difference in the entire meet, and Springfield was able to leave it all out there and win the high bar by a half point, as the two teams now congratulate each other on a job well done. Because there are so few teams that compete in men's gymnastics, you do see a lot of support for the opponents when you have the handshake lines. As we go through the final analysis for the teams as far as the individual events, Gabe Almeida won the floor for Army at 14-1. Blaze Kennedy wins the pommel horse for Army at 13-6. Patrick Armstrong won rings for Army at 13-6. Owen Carney took the vault at 14-4-5 for Springfield. JoJo Busselmeyer took care of parallel bars at 13-6. His routine, I think, was the clincher for the meet for Army. And the high bar, That goes to Busselmeyer again. He's a multiple winner today at 13:05. As the team will huddle at the middle of the floor here. As one more round of applause
for our graduating seniors from both
as they acknowledge the 6 men who are moving on to things once they toss their covers in the air in just 2 months at Michie Stadium. And it looks like we might be expecting something at the end of this in honor of Doug Van Everen, who again is running his final home meet here after 33 years
United States Military Academy
at the helm here.
6.65.
There are 2 men who Doug has thanked along the way. Rich Chu, the former associate AD at San Jose State, who hired him in 1987, and then Colonel Al Vanderbush, the West Point AD, who hired him not long after becoming AD himself in 1990.
After 33 years as the head coach of the Army West Point Gymnastics team. Please let's give a round of applause to Coach Van Everen for his 33 years of continued development of gymnasts to serve as officers in the United States Army. And now we have a presentation to Coach Van Everen from the judges.
It's not often that the judges make a presentation, but I think here, everybody's happy to see this man who's done so much for the sports.
Yeah, the judges and the coaches, they work hand in hand when they come to these meets, and the coordination and everything else. So it's really nice to see and have a good send-off for the head coach. 33 years at the helm, like you said, it's an incredible achievement on its own, and the amount of opportunities he's given to cadets and young gymnasts all over, coming to West Point, making them a team, a family, and that lineage it's great.
Is he looking for something else to sign here? Is his work for the day done? I'm thinking that it is. And if so, then I guess that means that our work for the day is done as well, as Army gets a senior day victory. Final score, Army 396-65. Springfield 392-10. As right now the unofficial all-around winner, by the way, was Dominic Romano for Springfield. And it looks like Doug is going to get one final send-off here.
No, this is a surprise to Doug. We had no idea. We kept it a secret. We just felt that after 33 years supporting West Point, and he also supported our Judges Association very stormily. We've had our courses here almost every year. We judge the biggest and the best meet in the fall, in the winter, the beginning of the season, the West Point Open, and he's just a great host. And we felt it was appropriate that we honor him at the time of his retirement. And this is from the entire EGJA, signed by myself and Lenny Lucarello, the Regional Technical Director. And let me just read it. Doug Van Everen, Head Coach, United States Military Academy, Army West Point. On the occasion of your retirement after 33 years at West Point, the Eastern Gymnastic Judges Association congratulates you and wishes you the best. During your time at West Point, the program has grown to new heights, including hosting NCAA championships, creating the West Point Open, and also supporting our judges hosting our yearly courses. May you have many good years of retirement.
Judges need to sign the score sheets.
As always, he has a great sense of humor. And I think in some instances, the coaches, when they're short on judges, have to judge their own kids and the kids from the other team side by side. So I think Doug has seen just about everything with this sport. It's all about building relationships with this sport in particular because there are so few varsity teams on the men's side. But with his retirement, it's not just Army losing the knowledge that they have on a day-to-day basis, but this sport is losing one of its greatest advocates, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where anytime you have somebody who retires after, you know, any length of time, they spent their time in the gym, giving back to young athletes, making an impact like Doug has, you're going to feel that presence missed, you know, from here on out. There's no doubt. However, I will say that, you know, the knowledge and expertise he has brought, he has also left with his gymnasts, and they can go on to future generations and become coaches down the road eventually when their careers in the Army potentially are over. But associate head coach Carmen Giglio and assistant coach Evan Eitner, those two right there can carry the team. They have the knowledge. Doug has worked side by side with Carmen for the last 20-plus years, I'll say. So they're in great hands, even though Doug's presence will be missed, no doubt.
Again, registration continues for the Army West Point Gymnastics High Performance Camp, open to young men in grades 6 through 12. As well as eligible transfers. Camp runs July 21st through 23rd. You can sign up by visiting armygymnastics.totalcamps.com. Again, armygymnastics.totalcamps.com. It would not surprise me if, while he may vacate the head coaching position, I somehow think if he's close by and he's not doing anything, you'll see Doug back in this building helping the next generation of young men trying to further themselves in the sport. And let's not forget about the West Point Open, which is an event like no other. One of my favorite events that takes place on post every year. That event, I don't think, has the gravitas that it does without him.
Yeah, no, I think if anything, we'll definitely see him back in years to come at the West Point Open. It's kind of a gathering place of alumni and you know, all the supporters of the Army men's gymnastics team. So I have no doubts he'll be back for that. And he'll be back to support the fellow generations coming up behind once he's done and in retirement.
This is well earned after 33 years as the head coach, but of course Army has a couple of more meets left. The regular season is now concluded. The ECACs are Saturday, April 1st at Navy, with the NCAAs Friday and Saturday, April 14th and 15th at Penn State. 6 young men on the roster received their praise today as seniors. They will graduate in a couple of months. A couple of guys had a big part in today's victory for Army over Springfield, 396-65 to 392-10. And so they're telling me that late lunch is now ready. Our time here at the M.G. Neal and Joan Creighton Gymnastics Arena is done for now. For our camera operator, Amaya McDonald. For the young lady running things on replay and graphics, Catherine Gray. And for our Assistant Director of Live Events for Army West Point Athletics, Ryan Panny. For my broadcast partner, Timothy Getz, I'm Nikolai Busko. Thank you for watching Army West Point Gymnastics on YouTube, wherever you are around the world. Thanks for joining us here at the U.S. Military Academy. Have a great rest of your weekend.